Good morning. The ReelAbilities Film Festival Los Angeles now welcomes the filmmakers from the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. This is a live session where you, the audience, speak directly to the filmmakers. Please send us your questions in the chat. Now, please welcome Easterseals Disability Film Challenge founder, Nick Novicki, to discuss the challenge and introduce our panelists.
Hello, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday. I am just so honored to be here with you all. This is such an amazing celebration of disability inclusion and disability representation at the ReelAbilities Film Festival Los Angeles. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the films, all the programs, and there's still time beyond this block to see some of the other great programs and to support disability inclusion. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Nick Novicki. I'm the founder and director of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. I am a white little person with hair that's not completely combed because it is a Sunday morning, and I'm learning this as I look at myself in Zoom. I wish I combed it a little better, but if you don't know me, I am an actor, writer, producer, comedian, and I am the founder and director of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Now, I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, almost 20 years as a comedian, content creator, and actor. And I learned pretty early in my career that I had to be in charge of all aspects of what I do. As a little person, I realized that, look, if I wanted to be the gangster or the romantic lead, I was going to have to learn how to create it myself. And work led to work. And to date, I've been in over 40 TV shows and movies. I've gotten the chance to work with Martin Scorsese, the Farley brothers, but the majority of that has come from me producing and creating my own content. And 9 years ago, I looked around and I was like, why aren't more people with disabilities creating their own work? Because as we know, we're 1 in 4 Americans that has some form of disability. That's roughly 61 million Americans. Yet, even though we're the most largest, I guess, group of minority population in the country, we're also the most underrepresented. So I looked around, I was like, we got to do something. So I created the Disability Film Challenge, which is a film competition where you need to have somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera. And you do a film that just has somebody with a disability. It doesn't have to be a film about disability. In fact, many of our judges actually say, we don't want your films to be about disability. The film challenge is all about inclusion. You have to follow a genre, a theme, and then just have somebody in front of or behind the camera. Now we're going into year 9 in January. So that's pretty crazy that we have continued to grow and get larger and larger. In 2017, I partnered with Easterseals Southern California, the nation's largest disability services organization. We're now the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. We've had hundreds of films that have been created for the film challenge, countless success stories. And the greatest thing is many people are aware of the problem of the lack of inclusion of disability representation. The film challenge, you can't just talk about the problem. You have to be part of the solution because you have to write, you have to direct, you have to produce, you have to create a film that has somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera. And many of you just watched a block of films from this year's 2021 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Now, as I said, the assignment of the film challenge is to follow our genre, our props. There's locations, there's things that have to be incorporated into your film. This year was mockumentary. So all the films that you saw and all the talented film challenge participants followed the mockumentary genre this year. So you got a lot of funny films and everybody followed safety measures because of COVID-19. And these films were all done from the safety of our participants' homes. So over the last couple of years, the ReelAbilities Film Festival has been so supportive of the film challenge here in Los Angeles. They've screened the winners. Well, this year, they've also selected some other films that made it in. On top of the winners, we also have a couple finalists from the film challenge here. Now, I've said a lot, possibly too much, but I want to turn it over to our unbelievable panel of filmmakers, of artists, of talented people with and without disabilities that are truly leading the way for more disability inclusion. So I am going to ask each individual to introduce themselves, say the name of their film, and also briefly describe what their film is and what they were nominated for those of you that haven't seen it yet. But if you haven't, I really encourage you to watch these films and all of our films, which are available on our YouTube channel. So first up, I am going to Cody. Wait, I love you. You want to, you can't wait. It's Cody Lascala. He's a very talented actor, producer. You know, he's a guy that's, you know, when you're excited about what you're doing, you're excited about what you're doing. So I'm gonna turn it over to Cody. And Cody, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us what your film is and what you were nominated for.
Okay, so my name is Cody Muscala, and my film is Getting Cody. It is a piece of getting bad, and I am nominated for this getting this picture. And today I am wearing a black sweater, and my hair is completely Nick. Hey, Nick, step up your game. Nick, step up your game.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Next up from New York City, she's got that background letting you know where she is. Anna Packman.
Hi, great to be here with everyone. I am a Caucasian woman with curly, dark hair. And like Nick said, I have a virtual background of New York City, specifically the Brooklyn Bridge behind me here. I'm the writer, director, and producer of Social Fitness, which is about coming out of COVID quarantines and learning how to socialize again. And very excited to be here with ReelAbilities. I was actually on the selection committee for ReelAbilities National for a few years. So excited to be here with everyone in LA.
That is great. Thank you so much. And now this film has a lot of people here, and they are a very talented group, and they are double winners this year. So you may hear that from them. Let us bring on Emily Pascal and Pancho Moeller, and then they can introduce their teammates.
Hi, I'm Emily Pascal. I am a Caucasian female with a dark ponytail, glasses, and a pink shirt. And my husband here, Pancho.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Pancho. I am a dwarf. I am Latino dwarf. We are one of the creators, writers, and actors of Dwarfopsychosis, which is a film about two fraternal twins. One's a little person, one's average size. And on their 40th birthday, they have a huge reveal. And we're really, really proud of this film. I got nominated for Best Actor, and our film won Best Producer for my wife, Emily Pascal. And then also to point it over to our lovely director and our other co-star creators, Steven and Maria, passing it over to them.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm a Hispanic female with a curly updo and curly bangs, red lipstick and earrings. I'll throw that in there. I am the director on Dwarfopsychosis, and we won Best Director and, like Pancho said, Best Film at the 2021 Easterseals Film Disability Challenge.
Yes, I'm Stephen Lachioma. I am a Caucasian male with curly, longish hair and a beard. I also was one of the co-creators, co-stars, and co-writers on Dwarfopsychosis. And again, just So
Also an
I'm,
actor. Yeah.
I did act on it too. I'm just very proud to be here and be with all these wonderful and amazingly talented individuals and wonderful people as well, and just jazzed, super jazzed.
And we're both a husband-wife duo.
Yes, which
Emily Poncho and Stephen and I.
deserves an award unto itself, because we all know how hard it is working with your significant
With the
other. Yeah,
spouse.
so
Absolutely. You know, as I'm a married man with a newborn baby and a little dog, and I'll tell you what, working with any of your family members is very challenging. It deserves a lot of support, and congrats. All right, next up, also with a fun background and a very talented and fun guy, Andy Arias.
Oh my God, Nick, I am so proud of you for doing that. Rock on. And I'll come over and do your hair anytime you need me to. So no worries about that. And suddenly I feel very single. My name is Andy Arias. I am the actor and producer of Extra Special. I'm texting with my director right now. He is not able to be on, Luke Terrell. He's amazing. This wouldn't happen without him. Extra Special was the story of miscommunication, misunderstanding of how Hollywood thinks there's only one trope of disability or LGBTQ. So it's a mockumentary on special, actually. So I go thinking I'm going to get an award for all my special work and disability and advocacy. So I go to St. Louis, I try to get this award, and I figure out that they're not talking about me, but they're talking about my friend Ryan O'Connell. But I decided to do it anyway, and all the hijinks that ensue because of that. So I really like the film. It's a really great film. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. And please go watch all of our films, honestly, because I am so proud of the diversity in this group this year and every year, but this year especially. So awesome job, everyone.
Thank you so much, Andy. All right, and now let's turn it over to Danny Bauman.
All right, thank you so much, Nick Novicki. I am Deanie Bowman, as you could see with my logo, Deanie Nation Entertainment. So, anyways, I am the director, producer, lead animator, editor, and winner for Best Editor of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge mockumentary short, The Home Office. And I am also the founder and CEO of Deanie Nation Entertainment, an animation studio that strives to help transitioning autistic individuals into the media and entertainment industry. And our little film, The Home Office, is the parody of The Office, but in our mockumentary, it's about an animation studio run by cartoon characters created by a team of animators working from home during the pandemic. I just can't, and it's led by people with autism, and it's created by 12 team members, 9 of us with autism. 9 of my animation students participated in this challenge, and we did a beautiful job. Out of 94 entries worldwide, we won for Best Editor. So happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations. All right, now last up, but definitely not least, an amazing film and collaboration with her actress and co-writer that won Best Actor, Maria Rodriguez.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marie Rodriguez. Nice to meet you all, or see some of you again. My film and Natalie Trayvon's film is called Nene Two Bomb, and Nene Two Bomb is about a female hip hop artist who uses her lyrics and her beats to raise awareness for women's rights, to fight against the toxic standards, beauty standards that our society puts on the world. So we were super excited to create this film and share it with you all. As far as my presentation, I'm a Mexican and Cuban woman, and I have long dark hair and brown skin. Unfortunately, Natalie is unable to join us today because she's been having some challenges signing on, but I am here in her place and hope that you all get to meet her because she's an incredible actress that won Best Actor for this film. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll we just resend her a note if there's trouble. We'll try to help her get in, but you know that's the world we're living in right now. We're still we're in a time where we're able to continue to showcase ourselves and our films and our content and be a part of events, but we're still in a virtual world in many ways. So we're still dealing with that. Where is the link? How do we get in there? And, you know, in many senses, these are a lot of the themes that are portrayed in Anna Paquin's film. You know, so that is something that I think we are going through, but I am so excited that we are on our way. I feel like very soon to all be together. But again, I just want to give a very special thank you shout out for ReelAbilities Film Festival Los Angeles for continuing to showcase our films, our and you know, the sentiment of Cody, who is he can't stop you know, showing that appreciation. Yes.
I am having the time of my life right now. Let me from
Wow.
this ability to come. It is like a way to get in the industry. It is a way in the industry. I cannot say
Well, thank you so much. You know, Cody, that really means a lot that that this film challenge has meant so much to you. And, you know, I can say that based on your film and the amount of views and all the nominations and how much support it's getting, that many people have been equally just as touched by your work and the work of so many of these amazing artists that are here with us today. So.
I am trying to put it on Amazon. I am trying to put it on Amazon. Help anybody?
You said you're sorry to cut them off?
No. I am trying to put it on Amazon.
You're trying to put it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna get to a time where we're gonna be able to kind of talk about what's next. You know, that's something that will definitely be coming up later on. So for all of our panelists, think about what you have coming up next in the pipeline. And I know, Cody, you already got plans. This guy is ready to take over the world. He's got stuff going on Amazon and actually many of these films, the winners that are here with us, you can also see on IMDb. And, you know, inside the chat, if you're tuning in or you've been with us the whole time, I want you to throw any questions that you have for our panelists, because we're going to get to that and answer that as we, you know, move into the next portion of our, you know, panel. Once we ask a few questions, we're going to start taking a couple more questions from the audience. And in that chat, they're also giving a special thank you shout out to the sponsors of the ReelAbilities LA Film Festival, which actually are also sponsors that we share with the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And they're amazing, you know, in Warner Media and Comcast NBC Universal and Viacom CBS. Thank you so much for everything you do to support disability inclusion, both through ReelAbilities LA and through our work with the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge, because we do year-round workshops, seminars, and networking opportunities, and that would not be possible without the support we receive. And again, a lot of that support is also ReelAbilities LA. So thank you again so much, and thank all the sponsors of LA ReelAbilities Film Festival. So, Cody brought something up, which man, that did touch me, about how much the film challenge has meant to you. I'd like to kind of, let's just start out by talking about that. Can you talk about, I want to hear from everybody about their experience making the film this year, and specifically why the film challenge has been helpful for them in any way. And Andy, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. I really wanted to work with Luke Terrell. He's done the challenge before, and I saw the quality of his work, and I was like, okay, so what am I gonna have to do to make this happen? And so I actually went to St. Louis to work with him. So I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna take this time, I'm gonna ditch work, and because I work a lot, but I said I'm going to ditch work and I'm going to do it. So that was like a sacrifice. And as you guys see in the film, because a lot of people have been throwing at me that like the rain and all the hectic weather was like special effects, that was real. My butt was soggy for like a full day and a half, for real. So that's no special effect there. But it really meant a lot, because I put forth sort of the effort to do that, but then also getting there, it made making the film that much more successful and like passionate, because of the effort and the midst of COVID, like all the extra precautions that we had to take, filming outside, doing this, doing that randomly. And then also there's been so much buzz and opportunity for all of us. Me being an LGBTQ Latino disabled person, I'm sitting on 24-inch rims, if you can't tell, but if you saw the film, you already know. So yeah, I mean, having that happen and getting that momentum for the film afterwards from everybody, not just the film challenge, not just the Easterseals, but the entertainment community getting really excited about it and saying, what are you going to do next? Because you did this, what's next for you? So yeah, it means a lot. I'm going to definitely be working with Luke again on this, because the Disability Film Challenge is it's like a starting point for many of us, but it's also like a revigoration if you're like in neutral and want to get your career like bumped up again.
Wow, thank you.
I'd love to jump in. Kind of, my experience is very similar. By the way, applause for Andy. Sorry, I have cerebral palsy. Sometimes it's harder. So hopefully I'm not cursing anyone out in sign language. So basically, my experience is very similar in terms of I'm also someone who has a full-time job that's not in the film industry. And working a lot, being able to just, because the challenge is 5 days, and you have to do everything from concept to production to editing in those 5 days. That actually was a huge advantage for me, because it actually inspired me to get off my butt and do it. What for me was a highlight was working with my team. I had a relatively large team, also kind of spread across the country. And because of COVID, it was such an incredible opportunity to work with people who I might not have had the opportunity to work with, because we had to get very creative, and we actually produced the whole thing virtually. Everyone, all the actors, all 10 actors, 7 of whom, by the way, have disabilities, shot completely from home. And then we had 2 incredible editors who basically put everything together. So even though it looks like you have people in the same scene, some of those people still to this day have never met in person. And in terms of, the challenge, can't thank Nick enough, because we've, like Andy mentioned, have had such incredible opportunities to get the work out there to the industry. And, not just for myself, because you see my hand in the movie for a few seconds, but really making sure that people understand there's an incredible amount of talent in front of the camera and behind the camera as well, and shining a spotlight on my friends in the industry has been so special.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. And talking about big team of people, Cody, let's give everybody else a chance to get through, and then we'll come back. And there's time. We got time. We're gonna take this full amount here, if that's. But we'll come back to you for sure. And I appreciate you, and all of you talented individuals that are some I'm seeing people joining in and hitting up in the chat. So thank you guys so much. Let's turn it over to Danny, because we're talking about large teams of people in front of and behind the camera. And you definitely had, as you said, quite a group of people that were able to help you execute what you did in such a short amount of time. Can you talk about your experience and what has it meant to you?
So for me, I felt it's really important for me to highlight my students with autism with their amazing animation abilities. The Easterseals Disability Film Challenge has given me the opportunity to highlight the ability of my students and to prove to the world that even though we have autism, we are still capable to compete with any neurotypical animation studio. I think our film, The Home Office, shows that there's many ups and downs when you're running an animation studio in person and online. It's just to show like I said, shows the power and the ability. And for me, that I'm doing and putting what I do is I take all the assets from the students and then put them all together. And sometimes you might encounter errors that could lead to happy accidents, like how this film turned out.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And I think accidents in film actually end up making the real special sauce. Sometimes you can really have those beautiful moments that were unexpected that just come into play. Now let's turn it over to Marie.
Hi, so Natalie and I came together in an interesting way. Just to throw this back to how we met, she had reached out to me because she had seen a casting post that I had for another project, and I wasn't looking for a visually impaired actress. And she asked me, hey, would you consider me to be a part of your film to fill this role? And I said, absolutely. Like, you fit a lot of the bill of what we're looking for. And to me, visually impaired didn't mean that she didn't fit this role. I just thought that it was a different way to look at the role. The film didn't end up happening, but our relationship continued, and she would post things online, and I loved that she was always advocating for disabled folks in film and fashion, and I found that so inspiring and beautiful. And eventually she reached out to me about this challenge, the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And honestly, I've always been a little apprehensive about film challenges because the amount of time, and I love planning everything out and just crossing my T's and dotting all the I's. And this felt like, it could be dangerous territory. But she basically said, Marie, if you want to help me put your money where your mouth is and produce this. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So when we first found out it was a mockumentary, I've also been kind of like a little apprehensive or scared about mockumentaries because it's not generally my style, but I do like this dark comedic feel that I thought we could play on. So we just started brainstorming about different ideas, and I'd reached out to also some writers that I knew, thinking that, oh, maybe they could join our team and help us write this, and unfortunately none of them were available. So that was kind of a blessing in disguise for us, because that made us be able to work our creative brains and come together and figure out what this story would be and how we were going to tell it. And so we didn't have a huge group, but it was, I think, around 7 people, and everybody played a role. I mean, I directed it and co-wrote it with Natalie and shot listed it, but like, I'm also one of the fans, and like, my makeup artist is one of the activists holding the Little Booties Matter sign, and the cinematographer is like the boyfriend. So it's such a trip, because just the way it all came together, we just all threw in our knowledge, our backgrounds, and we just really were excited to make this with Natalie and be a part of this whole challenge. And for me personally, representation both behind and in front of the lens is extremely important. I see so many folks telling people's stories that maybe don't have that experience themselves, and they don't have to tell that story, but I do look for, like, is the director, no matter what story it is, like, is a person who actually is going through, who has had that experience and is going through that experience, are they a part of the film in some way, even if it's a consultant? So Natalie and I, in regards to what's next, there's been a couple of other opportunities that she has been submitting for, and one of them was Disney Launchpad, and there was another one for the Soho House, and she came to me with ideas for scripts, and from there I took her ideas and put them into script format, and then with her made these 18-page short film scripts. So right now we're just kind of looking for funding, seeing who's interested in telling these stories that she's created, and yeah, we want to make them, and that's what we're going to do. It's just a matter of time.
Well, that's awesome. You brought up what's up, Cody?
Can he help?
Yeah.
Hey, that's what this is all about here. We're collaborating, and we all need to speak up for ourselves to get those jobs. And Cody, we're going to get to this in a minute, but I think you do a great job of being good on camera, being a great collaborator, but on the marketing side and getting yourself out there and leading to opportunities. And in fact, we're going to get to this after, because I want to hear from the film that's won Best Film and Best Director, but they may bring up that they actually were working with you on something, as well as Marie's collaborator, Natalie. So first, and then I want to get back to a couple points that were brought up here. Marie, you brought up a couple really great things that I want to get to after we talk about this experience from the Dwarfopsychosis team. I want to get to that, what's next, but also you brought something up that's very important that we're going to get to as the follow-up question, was all about authenticity and the importance of that, which really in many ways is the North Star and the mission, and one of the things that I've always kind of followed with why we need the film challenge, why we need disability inclusion, and making content amongst each other, and the collaboration is what I feel leads to true inclusion. But I want to hear about everybody else, their experience with the film challenge and the industry as a whole. But first up, let's hear from the Dwarfopsychosis team. I want to hear about the process, making your film. What was it like to find out you guys were double winners, which is crazy, but what was it like to just make a film together? Let's start with Maria and Steven, since we started with Emily and Pancho last time. Let's talk about the process, and then Pancho and Emily chime in.
Well, I came in later in the process, so I'll let Steve headline, because you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been involved in a number of film challenges over the years, and you do start to get kind of disenchanted with them, and you do them because you love doing it and you love creating. So Pancho initially approached me and said, "Hey, there's this awesome film challenge. Would you love to collaborate and work together on something?" And I was like, 100%. I, at that time, really didn't even know what I don't want to say the prizes or what you would get, but I just was excited to work with Pancho. And then when he told me about the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge and what it was about, I was even more excited, because I'm like, this is an awesome opportunity. So
Inclusion.
Yeah, amazing opportunity for inclusion. So it started there, and then him and I brainstorming and coming up with the idea, and then saying, well, we're good, but we're not as talented as our wives. So as soon as we brought them in, it obviously bumped it up a notch. And the process, was awesome. And it's still awesome. We're, I guess, kind of reeling and enjoying this whole experience. It's been really amazing.
Yeah, the
Sure.
ride has been really great. As far as the filmmaking, I came in a little later in the filmmaking process to direct it. But it was really easy to direct Pancho and Steven because their chemistry was so great. And with mockumentary style, that's one of my favorite styles of films. I'm a very big Christopher Guest fan, and I watched all of his films. So that was a lot of the inspiration for this, and The Office as well. Yeah, and it was really good. I think we tried to like keep the performances earnest and honest. And I think there's levity in there, but that just came naturally through their relationship. So it was really, for me, it was easy because all I had to do was just capture them, and I tried to make sure that, like, even when they were when we weren't really rolling, just like staying a little bit in character so that I can capture some sort of candid moments with them. And they did a really great job at really illustrating this really beautiful relationship between these two brothers.
Yeah.
Have such a unique relationship.
Yeah.
But the Easterseals film for me has opened up the door. I'm an actor by trade. But that was my first time directing, and I've always wanted to direct. I really love making stories and telling stories. So this for me has opened up a lane of directing that I'm interested in exploring now. And and I'll let Emily and Pancho sort of take it after this, but we've expanded the concept into a TV, comedy, single cam comedy. And that has been a big collaborative effort. We've been we're like in a punch bowl together, just all like figuring it out, editing together. I mean, we were the lighting people on this. Same like Marie was saying, it's like we were doing it all. For the pilot, for this pilot that we're creating, and also
the Easterseals. It was just the four of us, and yeah, it's been awesome. And the most important thing, and I think we all forget why we got into this initially, it's we love it. It's fun. There's nothing we'd rather be doing, whether we're getting paid and we're on set or we're shooting something on an iPhone in a garage.
Yeah,
we love doing this. And I mean, we've all been doing it since we were kids, playing Ninja, playing house. And
so it's been a great opportunity to kind of explore that. And on the side note, we because of this challenge, we discovered Natalie, Marie, thank you, and Cody as well, and we put them in our pilot. But I'll let Pancho and Natalie take it from here now.
So this was our third year doing the film challenge, and since the beginning, it's really developed our skills, our ability to work together, and what we can do. I know through this film challenge, Pancho's learned to edit. He edited Dwarfopsychosis. He's also editing the pilot. It's kind of given us, expanded our skill set and the things that we like to do. And when we got to this season and we heard it was mockumentary, instead of just the two of us, we wanted to incorporate someone else. And Pancho had been wanting to work with Steven, and it was really just it was like, I don't want to say magic. We got together not even thinking about winning or any of that. We just kind of wanted to make a fun film, and I made lunch and watched the dogs, and they were making magic out there. And I don't know. You want to say anything? I mean,
it just kind of like became bigger than what it was supposed to be, especially because all we were doing was just laughing and having fun throughout it. I learned, like Emily was saying, how to edit better. And I developed like a new trait that like I feel like has become easier and easier. And it's one of those things where I was like, man, I could have been doing this like 14 years ago, and where would I be now? But you can't think that way, I'm just learning that's the process, and that's just my journey. But like it brought me and Steve and Maria and all of us closer together. Like it became a family affair, and like it was just so fun, just laughing and creating this like this comedy, this mockumentary, this relationship. And I just realized throughout the process that there's certain people that you can work with, that the chemistry's there, and there's sometimes that you kind of got to force it. And with Steven and I, it just kind of worked, everything just kind of bonded together, and it became beautiful. And with that said, like we were able to expand on it and use this whole idea, this beautiful, unique story, to like create a whole season out of it, but also create a beautiful pilot and incorporate some of the other talented people from the disability challenge that like brought the heat, man. I mean, it was amazing. Like, and I learned so much throughout it. Like even like working with Natalie, like, you know, like it was very impressive. Like with the stuff that we had, we wrote dialogue for her, but like if she can't remember it, you know, it's not like you tell her to like go read your lines, you know, like us, you know, like we can go back and read our lines and be like, okay, she just had to do it, and it was all in her head, and it was one of the most beautiful things. I got to like see like this person just using her imagination to create this character, and using what she has, and it was like a whole nother sense, and it was just really, really awesome to see. And even with Cody, when we worked with Cody, it was just like, wow, like he was pointing out things that we didn't even see. Like it was so amazing.
He was
like,
very good at continuity. If you need a script,
yeah,
Cody.
and, you know, all these people were soldiers. They brought the heat, and like they made our pilot. Like they made it magic.
People and they all help out and it is so much fun. I love it. I want to look more. I want more.
There's a lot of love going around here, you know. Cody, we could feel it that you that collaboration that you had with Pancho and Emily and that Natalie was also part of it. You know, that's something too that to me was always the goal is, look, let this competition be a competition, but let it be a chance for people to take not just one film, not just one project, but opening up the doors to collaboration and continuing to move forward in careers and other projects. And we've seen this over the years, and, you know, web series that have been formed, and other short films, other feature films, other docs, other TV shows that are in development. And it's truly amazing that, you know, you guys said it. I'm not announcing this, but that you guys turned your short, which won some awards, was written up in the trades, got some buzz. All of these films are screening at festivals around the country and the world right now. But you took that and you said, let's not just wait and write something. Let's actually shoot a pilot. And so that is something that is truly amazing. And going back to what you said, Stephen, about you know, the prizes, you know, that was something always that was important, you know, to me from year one, was let's give some incentives, let's get some reasons for people to enter this, and for people that don't have disabilities to say, oh yeah, wait a minute, we should work together. Let me find somebody that's a little person or wheelchair user or blind or deaf, or, you know, there's so many different disabilities that are in our community. It's not one disability. You know, when you look at us, we have so many different disabilities represented here on screen. And with the film challenge, you know, we had close to 100 films this year. We had 94 films that were from all over the world. And I guarantee you, we have pretty much every disability you can think of represented in some form of our films. So, you know, what else is cool is that we, the winners also get mentor meetings. So we've had these mentor meetings with NBC Universal and Warner Media, HBO, Viacom, CBS, with directors over the years. And this has been an opportunity for people to be seen. But, you know, the coolest thing about the Film Challenge, as I said from the beginning, is this is not just talking about what you want to do, but it's actually putting yourself out there. And it really means so much that the industry is starting to really bring people in, and this is leading to other jobs. But as much as this is a competition, it is in many senses like a family. You know, we have people in the chat that have made films that are here supporting us. It's like a family. Now, a competitive family at times, but a family But it's just so cool that it has been leading to other opportunities. If anybody else wants to talk about that, Cody, I know you already brought this up about how cool it was to work with them on this pilot.
I had the most fun working with Emily and Council and Maria and Steve. I want to make a horror movie. Do you want to help out or let's do something?
A horror movie? Is that what you said, Cody?
But
That might be fun. Yeah.
that's
Let's have your people call my people, Cody, and we'll figure that out. All right, we'll go from there.
So we with that, I mean, you know what? That's what this is about. This is about the community. This is about, and honestly, too, it's ReelAbilities, film festival. It's the family element. It's about getting together, and whether that's in person or virtually. And we are going to hire each other. Yes, we want the industry to take notice and to bring us in. And I've been very excited. I know, Andy, I don't know if you want to talk about that. You sort of mentioned it, but that you've been getting a lot of auditions since the film challenge. Can you talk about that? The experience of the exposure? And then we got a question coming in after this from the audience.
It's super crazy because many people know that I moved from DC. I was working on national policy, still doing that, but I moved to back to LA from a pandemic, and I've gotten, not to brag, but I've gotten an audition a week. And like 4 years ago, that would have been impossible, right? Because the industry was just not ready for like Latino sparkle disability. And then this film came out, and then everybody started calling again and was like, oh my God, you're funny, Andy. And you're like authentically kooky. And I'm like, hi, I've been trying to tell everybody that for like 10 years. But now it seems like they're paying attention. I'm actually working on a script right now with previous winners from the Disability Film Challenge, and we're like inviting everyone to come and play in the film. So if your phone hasn't rung yet, it will be, because we've already picked actors, and we gotta call them. Yes, Cody. Yes, we already got you in mind, Cody. We already got you in mind. We do. We got all the, but like it's all about. And the one thing I have to say is that yes, we do love the work and we love the passion, but actors with disabilities need to be getting paid for their work. So we want to make a film that people are going to enjoy and love, but also monetize it. We can't just be like, oh, we're super creative and we love making art. Yes, of course, but we also love getting paid. So, I mean, let's be real. It's LA. It's expensive to live here. It's expensive to have sparkle, and you need to be getting paid for your work. So, I will be hitting up everybody on this Zoom eventually. You'll be involved in some way. So, just know that that's going to be happening, and we're working on it now. So.
Wow, that's awesome. And I love, that's what we call in comedy a callback. Yes. Cody brought up, you chimed in at the right time when that opportunity was coming in. So we got a question coming in real quick. I want to bring up, Danny, you're doing all this behind the scenes too, because what's important is it's not just people working in front of the camera with disabilities. We have so many talented people. The last numerous years, our best editor last year from Autistic Ability, Scott Klum, is a talented editor on the autism spectrum, won best editor. And this year, Dana, you won the best editor, and have all these people, and you had a meeting with HBO. Can you talk about that and it all?
Okay, so you mean just the meeting with HBO? It's
Yeah,
so
just in
amazing.
general, that's leading to opportunities for you, or just and what else you got going on with your group?
So it's so with the, like you said, that the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge has indeed opened the doors. And when it comes to winning for Best Editor, I wasn't so sure, and it feels like, wow, everything. If I won for Best Editor, like I said, it's icing on the cake, and getting to meet with the professionals. My reaction when it comes to meeting with people from HBO, and it's like so amazing. I was just so excited and welcomed that we get to get to know each other and to talk about the work opportunities they're going to provide for me as an editor. So although I haven't heard back a single word or an email from HBO yet, but then again, I'm still very excited for that opportunity.
Well, I mean, and many times this is the entertainment industry. I like to call it, a marathon. I'm in the looking at it from the bird's eye of 20 years, and I'm getting hired from people that I worked with, 17 years ago. So the fact that you're in that database, from them, and this is something. If you're a filmmaker out there with or without a disability, it's important for you to really be thinking about, what can I do to make my film more inclusive in terms of disability representation in front of the camera, but also be thinking behind the camera, because we got a lot of talented writers, producers, editors, people that there's a lot of opportunities, and we want to get to that. But first, let's get to a question that we have from our esteemed ReelAbilities steering committee. Shout out to all those individuals out there.
All right.
So this question is for Danny. Hi, Danny. Loved Home Office. Your cast and team was fantastic and was so large. Love seeing all the animation archetypes. Were there any parts of working with animation and working remotely that were surprisingly challenging or easier than you thought they'd be?
So for the hardest part is organizing my students from across the globe and working with different time zones via Zoom. But the main reason is to teach my students how to collaborate in a team to finish the deadline. So we originally thought we're going to do a fully animated 5-minute short film, but it's nearly impossible. But as some of you may know, animation takes a long time, and don't get me wrong, students did an amazing job. So therefore we had no time to finish. And by the last minute, as an editor, I also included some of the live action shots working together. It wasn't really planned as so to speak. It's kind of happened. So that work in progress, the editing process, I felt it could lead to happy accidents, as I've mentioned earlier.
Awesome.
The best part is seeing the final product, and the best part is getting to see the final product working together. So therefore, you see all the animation that you saw at the very end kind of degrades over time. It's just as an error happens, the error messages that was added at the very last minute, as an example.
Well, I think that's fun. That's something that I know I personally like, when you can bring in those elements where there's a mistake or something that could be seen as a problem, and especially when the genre is mockumentary and it's comedy, let's break that fourth wall. Let's have fun with it. And I think that's you all these films really did such a great job with that. We're believe it or not, almost out of time, but I want to give a chance to open it up for a question that anyone can ask. If you can raise your hand so I see.
We have one more question, actually, Nick, and that question is actually for you, believe it or not.
Okay.
What was the conversation like for the last 2 years around choosing the film challenge theme? How did you approach it without just getting really bummed out about kind of the state of the world and the limits everyone was facing?
It's a great question, and honestly, it was really hard. The film challenge. I'm still a working, actor and comedian and producer, but I work, I'm going to bed thinking about this. I'm waking up thinking about this. This is like something I'm very passionate about. So when COVID happened, and this was March of 2020, 3 weeks before our scheduled 2020 film challenge, we had to, give a real hard look and look at it and just cancel. And so we canceled the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And then we kind of just we're in a let's wait and see what happens with the world. And the pandemic, as we all know, has continued. So what I did is I relaunched, and I thought of the idea of documentary. So this is something that we could do from home, a home edition, and making it documentary. So I thought in 2020, well, maybe we're going to have, half the films we normally get. Well, we had the most films we ever had. People wanted to tell their story, and beautiful films. Many of our, finalists and people here made films. And then this year, for 2021, we're still in the pandemic. Safety is paramount. And we have SAG-AFTRA, who's been a longtime supporter, and they allow us to use talent without paying any upfront fees. And so this competition is, it's a volunteer. No one gets paid, so that's how we're able to do this, and how we've been able to have first-time actors, writers, directors, and producers, and editors, and crew members, as well as Golden Globe and Oscar winners that have taken part in the film challenge. So this year, what we thought is let's do mockumentary, because we thought it would be a combination of documentary and our normal narrative competition, and it will allow for people that were nervous about COVID to still be creative and be able to do a home edition using pre-shot footage and sort of merging a documentary with a narrative film. And truthfully, I felt that the disability community and so many of our actors could really play around with and have fun with what a mockumentary is. And I think so many of these films of, Extra Special and Dwarfopsychosis and Social Fitness and, Nene to Bomb, all of the films, every single film really just, hit home runs and just nailing it with how to merge the gap with that. So I'm truly proud of the film challenge, all the films, all the actors. I feel like all the writers, the participants, in many ways, we're like a family. We go to events, sometimes when we have a screening, I'll show up in a multiplex and there's all these different screening rooms, and I'll see somebody in a wheelchair going into a different movie theater. And I'm like, hey, I think he's with me. I don't know, but I think, because it is, we are showing love and support. And I know that many of us feel that way for the whole community and ReelAbilities and just this movement that is happening, which is disability inclusion, that I feel many ways is really grassroots led. And it's us working together and us saying now is the time for us to have disability inclusion more representative, and we're going to be part of that process, and we're going to be part of that change. And we are going to be, I love it, Andy, when you give me a little love. For those that couldn't see, you gave me a nice little snap, and it made me feel good and kind of motivated me to keep going in my thought here. But we're almost out of time. Before we do, I want to talk about this, continuing on with final thoughts on authenticity. Now, this is something that really, in many ways, the mission always was to create more opportunities for people with disabilities in front of and behind the camera, and to change the way the world views disability. That is the mission of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Now, what I think is allowing that to happen is the authenticity that happens, of people with and without disabilities working together, creating something. I think, Marie, you brought that up early on, and I thought it was really beautiful how you said that. Is you're always thinking, how can we have what we're saying be from the voice of the person? How can we really be inclusive with that? Now, final thoughts. Let's face it, the industry is really I think being much better than they were. If we have somebody that doesn't have a disability, or just an industry individual who's listening in, how can they be more inclusive? How can they help build a more diverse world, including disability representation? Cody, what's up, buddy? What do we got?
And I'm unfortunately going to do a voice of God here and jump in on Nick and everybody, because literally we are out of time, Cody. And Nick set you up with the longest question ever.
Sorry.
We literally do have to switch off our panel now to keep the festival in time.
Okay,
So,
well, thank you.
So I want to say a big thank you again to Nick. It's always a pleasure to work with you and all the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge filmmakers. It is our expectation at ReelAbilities LA that you are going to be the people making all the films that are in our festival over the coming years. So thank you so much for the work you do.
Thank you so much.